A school teacher asked all the children in school, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some little boy said a fireman or a policeman, and when it came to be my turn, I said a lawyer.
The minute I walked into the courtroom and felt the energy and felt the advocacy, I knew that's where I needed to be.
I got a chance to try a couple cases, and let's just say from that point on, I knew there was no turning back.
There's nothing like that feeling of being in that courtroom, taking on the bullies and fighting for your client.
I like being able to feel like I'm fighting for individuals and making a difference.
You see the power of the insurance companies, you see the power of the corporation, and you just shake your head and go, how can anybody battle this? But you must, and if we don't do it, we know no one else is going to.
You have to have the fighter mentality of, I like these odds. This is just the odds that I want. Me against 10, 15. There's no one else to do it for them. I mean, we are their voice.
From protecting an individual's most basic rights to making America safer, trial lawyers are dedicated to upholding one of the most fundamental safeguards of our Constitution, the right to trial by jury.
Each case you bring makes a difference societally, and that's a great thing to be a part of. It's a privilege.
We do good work for good people. Am I proud? Yeah, I'm proud. I am delighted to be amongst the group of trial lawyers in the country.
Each year, nearly 100,000 people die from preventable medical negligence. Many more receiving serious, debilitating injuries.
Those aren't just numbers, those are real people who had real lives and real families or real friends.
We had no idea that when our son went into the hospital, he was never going to come home. Ulcerative colitis is not a deadly disease. It's not fatal. He should not be dead. And he was only dead because of the faults of someone else.
Every case is a real person, and there's a story to be told, and our job is to do our best to tell them effectively, and that's what AAJ helps us do.
One of the cases that haunts me to this day is a case where a woman who was pregnant for the first time developed a very terrible infection when she was delivering her baby. She should have never developed that infection. She made many phone calls to her doctor's office and was not asked to come in. She ended up losing both legs and most of the fingers on one hand. She could never walk with her baby or hold her baby again. I will never forget sitting in her living room and telling her and her husband what the law was in that state. She cried, and her husband cried, and we all sat together and hugged. That's what CAPs do. They hurt the people who are hurt the most.
When states try to cap damages for people who are injured, AAJ's legal team, the Center for Constitutional Litigation, prepares court challenges to overturn the caps and other restrictive measures. Each year, hundreds of millions of dollars are spent by powerful corporations determined to destroy our civil justice system and put the trial lawyers out of business.
We are truly David versus Goliath. We are up against the biggest, most powerful interests in this country.
That this innocent woman is only entitled to $250,000 in pain and suffering. I don't think it's fair.
We are under perpetual attack. We just get to breathe every so often for short periods of time.
It's important to talk about the most critical aspect of true, meaningful healthcare reform, standing up for patients. Who will speak for the patients? The gentleman will suspend. Who will speak for the patients?
The fight never stops. There are always people there who are going to want to stop us from doing what we do, which is appearing in front of jurors.
If you want these companies to make every effort to make sure their employees don't act as these did, you must make certain they are exposed to pain in the only place they can feel it, their bank accounts. As a friend recently said, make them hurt where their heart would be if they had a heart.
It requires vigilance every day, and that's what AAJ does for us. We're out there fighting for our clients in the courtrooms, and AAJ is in the halls of Congress making sure that patient safety continues to be #1 on the agenda of Congress.
I advocate for them so that they can represent their clients in the best possible way.
The reality of it is this: there's no other organization in the world that is fighting to protect the civil justice system.
It is absolutely the firewall.
Every day they fight to keep the courthouse doors open.
The members inform our advocacy on Capitol Hill every day. They give us the stories about their clients. They tell us why a law that's proposed is harmful or hurtful. Armed with the data and the information that we get from our lawyers, we can make the best argument. And that's why we win. And that's why we're going to continue to win.
AAJ successfully kept tort reform, including limits on medical malpractice, nursing home and pharmaceutical cases, out of the health care bill.
AAJ is out there on the front lines every day, educating our members of Congress, educating the White House, educating the public about why the civil justice system, why our court system is important.
When there's a legislative proposal, we send it to our members and say, what do you think? How's this going to affect your clients? And they're going to tell us.
One person, one lawyer, can't make changes on the Hill in Washington. But collectively, all of us together, we can have our voice be heard.
The more numbers we have, the more powerful we are, the more our collective voice will be heard.
If we did not have AAJ, it may take a year, it may take just 6 months. But the big corporations and those who do harm would trample the rights of all our citizens. Without AAJ, there would be no civil justice system.
Just as belonging to the state association provides invaluable networking and advocacy in the state, joining AAJ provides national networking and advocacy in the U.S. Congress.
I come here for the education, I come here for the networking. Learning from the best trial lawyers across the country is the best way to make myself a better trial lawyer for my clients.
You know, I'll sit through these seminars and just take notes because I'm going to hear a gem for this case, a gem for that case.
It's a collection of some of the smartest people in the country.
You can actually get into a new area of law between the documents that are available and seminars that are offered. You can go to school on that issue.
You get one of the AAJ litigation packets on birth trauma or on trucking, and you'll have model pleadings, model discovery, model depositions.
I've learned just about everything I know about being a trial lawyer from AAJ. For a young lawyer to get that kind of development is critical.
AAJ has been the most important driving force in my professional career.
I've never found a group of individuals who are more willing to share, teach, mentor.
We aren't competitors. We're not opponents, we're partners. The newest lawyer can go up and talk to somebody who's been practicing for 40 years and get all of that experience in just a few minutes, and for free.
I can reach out to people and say, hey, I got this case, can I bounce this off of you?
You make relationships, and you keep those relationships. It is like a family, and many of us feel that way.
Even though my law firm may have 5 lawyers, if I go to the listserv, I have the resources of some of the biggest partnerships in the country.
Somebody has a question, before they know it, some other member of the family is helping them out.
No matter where I go, I can call somebody and say, I've got this going on there, can you help me? And people will drop whatever they're doing. We're really a nationwide law firm.
I don't know how you can fight for your clients without being part of AAJ. To me, it's critical. It's the oxygen that you need every day.
We have only one issue. Our only issue is the civil justice system, access to courtrooms, the 7th Amendment. That is what we're about.
AAJ is our biggest fighter, and if they're not there, there is nobody. Who's it going to be? There is no other group like this in the world.
It's a battle that we have to fight every day. We have to make sure that we're heard. This is an important organization to be a member of.
We all have an obligation to support AAJ because the work they're doing impacts every client we have now and every client we will have in the future.
We owe it to the future, to our own children and grandchildren. We owe it to the people who don't need us yet to make sure that the system stays in place.
We have the truth on our side. We have the facts on our side. We have the heart and the grit. And we have our members who will do whatever they can to represent their clients. Working together, we can do amazing things.